Hello everyone, Kaide here. Just wanted to make a small video about off-burst rotation. So essentially, if you're fighting against a monster or boss that you have a big chance to attack, um, and they stand still, you use the onslaught stance and you do this. Right? So, you know, anything under floor 5 for the new dungeons and everything under floor 50 for the old Demon's Bane dungeons, you want to use Onslaught. However, past 51 and past stage 5, bosses, they're faster, way faster whenever they attack. And most of them don't stand still for a very long time. So this is when you start using the 1-2 talent. So essentially, the way this works is that over here, you take a look at the damage that Decimator does. So let me find that real quick. Where's Decimator? So this is, let's go with non-C. So right here we have that Decimator on the bottom deals 3 to 3.1 million additional damage at max stacks. So that's when you tap 4 FF. And essentially this is where most of our damage comes from. So the main difference with using the 1-2 talent is that our C damage is increased. So for example, we can look that the base damage is 2 million damage, and then whenever my target has between 26% to 50% HP, they take an extra 1.3 to 1.4 million. And then when they're under 25%, they gain another extra 1.3. So under 25% HP, my target will take around 4 million damage, which is again really big compared to Decimator, since our whole rotation is based around Decimator. So essentially, what we want to do is that we want to cast as many Cs as we can, um, and the other important thing is that our V decreases escalate cooldown by 4 seconds. So essentially I discovered what could be called this new on-off sustained rotation, which revolves around using my Cs and then spamming V as much as I can while filling in other attacks during its animation in order to spam Cs as much as possible. So the rotation essentially looks like this. Right, so essentially there's a lot of things going on here, so I'll try to explain them as best as I can. So the main two things to note here is that with this change, we go into what we call Sky Blade stance, which is basically a stance where we have Onslaught, but we don't use Onslaught since unspect. Um, we inspect it here, and we're using 1-2. So on this stance, the most important thing is that we VLMB, because that applies a bleed proc, and that's very important to have built up whenever you're fighting a boss, because it's basically damage over time. The other important thing is that every stance C is completely different. So, for example, on this stance, if I see LMB, I'm just going to phase through the target. If I do it on the pink stance, I'm going to end up behind the target. And then if I do it on the blue stance, then essentially it's just a regular dash. But you can animation cancel it. So usually whenever I see LMB, I do tap 4FF like this. so as fast as I can. So the rotation is a little bit complicated, but I'll try to do it as slow as I can and just try to explain it. So we start with C, LMB, LMB again, V, LMB twice, RMB, V, RMB. Now the reason why I V RMB here is to lower the cooldown of escalate so we can have it again. Afterwards we're going to C, RMB, RMB to go into pink stance, and then we V, LMB twice, hold LMB to go back into blue stance, and then continue doing it over and over again. So again, it looks like this. If you notice, my bleed stack is about to run out, but I just reset it there. So you have to be fast while you're doing this. It's about to run out. Once it's at max, instead of proccing 2 hits of bleed, I just do 1. So this is 1. There. It's a little bit faster. Alright, so obviously we want to incorporate or tap for FF. And obviously this at this point it just depends on what you're doing and what you need. So like I said again, I usually do C, L, and B on this stance and then tap for FF and keep doing it. And whenever I have my decimator back, I wait until I'm on this stance. You can see R and B tap for FF, but you can't animation cancel C, R, and B. So it's a little bit clunkier. So this is what it looks like. Whereas with CLMB, it's definitely much faster and more smooth. Alright, so now I just want to show you guys a 1 minute parse. Essentially, I'm just going to do my normal burst rotation, and then I'm going to show you my off sustain rotation on the 1-2 talent.